food area that I worked in. But yeah, I enjoy the program. If you want to build it as well, I'll take you there.
Asian Cup next year. I'd like to start by acknowledging that we gather here today on the land of the Darug people, the traditional owners of the land on which we are today. We pay our respects to elders past and present. Now, we also have a few other shout-outs here tonight. I'd like to shout out our musicians from earlier, gave us some great atmosphere while we were enjoying a nice feed and some drinks. And of course, all of our lucky competition winners who are here today because they entered a little competition on the AFC Women's Asian Cup Instagram account, which, if you are not following that by now, you should be, because I'm sure there's going to be a bunch more exciting stuff as we head towards the tournament next year. So let's talk about the tournament. The AFC Women's Asian Cup will take place from March 1st to March 21st next year. That is 20 full days of football across 3 cities, Sydney, Gold Coast and Perth, and 5 iconic stadiums, including this one right here. Can you imagine this place packed out with football fans? We saw it for the Women's World Cup a couple of years ago, and now all eyes are on us once again for the Asian Cup. So we've got quite a few exciting games, and I hope people don't mind. I'm going to be a little bit biased to Sydney now. We're all in Sydney. And I've got to say that we do have the best of this tournament. We have 7 group stage fixtures between Western Sydney and Stadium Australia, including a Tilly's game on International Women's Day, which feels particularly exciting. Big moment for the girls, big day for it. Very exciting stuff. On top of that, we also have 2 quarterfinals, a semi-final, and then the big dance at Stadium Australia, where we play out to be the champions of the continent. What a huge game to be at. Now, I don't know how many people here went to the World Cup final at Stadium Australia a couple of years ago, but it was honestly the most incredible experience that I've ever seen. So to have something of that standard in our backyard once again is very exciting. I cannot stress it enough. If you haven't already got tickets, if you're not looking at them soon, get on top of them because they will sell out and you will be sad. So who is playing? We have 12 countries from all across Asia. Of course, Australia needs no introduction. On top of that, we also have Japan, who are the highest ranked AFC team per FIFA rankings, 2 times AFC champions, and 1-time World Cup winners. Still got a bit of time? We also have Korea Republic, who were runners-up last Asian Cup and will be looking for a bit of redemption. We have China, who are 9-time Asian Cup champions, the most successful team in Asian Cup history. It's going to be another big one for them. We have Bangladesh and India, both first-time qualifiers, although India did host in 2022. We have Chinese Taipei, who are 3-time champions. Ooh, we've got some Chinese Taipei fans in the room tonight. This is what we like to see. We have Iran, who are in for the 2nd time ever. We've got some Iranian fans. We have Vietnam, who last Asian Cup made it to the quarterfinal for the first time, which got them into the World Cup. We also have Uzbekistan, who will host the Asian Cup in 2029, which is just 3 years after this. It's going to be a tight turnaround, lots of women's football in the next couple of years. We have the Philippines, which if you don't already have a second team, if you don't already have a second team in Asia, I would highly recommend getting behind the Philippines. They're coached by Mark Torcaso, who used to coach the Western United in the A-League. Lots of Australian players, lots of people that have played in our own backyard in the A-League, and I feel like they're just a great team to get behind. And finally, we have DPR Korea, 3-time Asian Cup champions. They are the 2nd in Asia right now, and they haven't played in the Asian Cup since 2010. So they've got a lot that they've done, then had a bit of a dry spell, so it'll be interesting to see where they end up. So tonight is the major milestone, the first major milestone in our road to the Asian Cup next year. And we are going to look at the tournaments, the matchups. We are also going to get a look at the new branding, which I may or may not have had a little sneak peek of, and it looks very, very exciting. So we're very excited to see that. I will leave the full explanation of the draw mechanics to the people on the big screen, because I did try and wrap my head around it. And I feel like if I try and explain it to you all, you may end up a little bit more confused than you are right now. But basically, they are playing not only for the Asian Cup, Cup here, they will also be playing to qualify for the Women's World Cup in 2027. So this is going to be a very important tournament for everybody involved. Where are we at? So we've got 3 pots representing the groups A, B and C. In each of these position pots, there are 3 balls with position numbers 2, 3 and 4 for each group, while the number 1 position in each group is reserved for the top-ranked team from pot 1. So that's basically what we're looking at. These groups and positions are listed at the bottom of your match schedules. This is where the fun part comes. You all have a pen, a piece of paper, and the future match schedule. All you got to do now is pay close attention, scribble in some names, see which games you want to look at, and pay close attention because there may be a quiz at the end for a prize that I don't know. If no one answers correctly, I might take home for myself. That is how good it is. But we will get started in just a minute and enjoy. Past and present. Now we also have a few other shout outs here tonight. I'd like to shout out our musicians from earlier, gave us some great atmosphere while we were enjoying a nice feed and some drinks. And of course all of our lucky competition winners who are here today because they entered a little competition on the AFC Women's Asian Cup Instagram account, which if you're not following that by now, you should be because I'm sure there's going to be a bunch more exciting stuff as we head towards the tournament next year. So let's talk about the tournament. The AFC Women's Asian Cup will take place from March 1st to March 21st next year. That is 20 full days of football across 3 cities, Sydney, Gold Coast and Perth, and 5 iconic stadiums, including this one right here. Can you imagine this place packed out with football fans? We saw it for the Women's World Cup a couple of years ago, and now all eyes on us once again for the Asian Cup. So we've got quite a few exciting games, and I hope people don't mind. I'm going to be a little bit biased to Sydney here. We're all in Sydney. And I've got to say that we do have the best of this tournament. We have 7 group stage fixtures between Western Sydney and Stadium Australia, including a Tilly's game on International Women's Day, which feels particularly exciting. Big moment for the girls, big day for it. Very exciting stuff. On top of that, we also have 2 quarterfinals, a semi-final, and then the big dance at Stadium Australia, where we play out to be the champions of the continent. What a huge game to be at. Now, I don't know how many people here went to the World Cup final at Stadium Australia a couple of years ago, but it was honestly the most incredible experience that I've ever seen. So to have something of that standard in our backyard once again is very exciting. I cannot stress it enough. If you haven't already got tickets, if you're not looking at them soon, get on top of them because they will sell out and you will be sad. So who is playing? We have 12 countries from all across Asia. Of course, Australia needs no introduction. On top of that, we also have Japan, who are the highest ranked AFC team per FIFA rankings, 2 times AFC champions and 1-time World Cup winners. Still got a bit of time. We also have Korea Republic, who were runners-up last Asian Cup and will be looking for a bit of redemption. We have China, who are 9-time Asian Cup champions, the most successful team in Asian Cup history. Going to be another big one for them. We have Bangladesh and India, both first-time qualifiers, although India did host in 2022. We have Chinese Taipei, who are 3-time champions. Woo, we've got some Chinese Taipei fans in the room tonight. This is what we like to see. We have Iran, who are in for the 2nd time ever. We've got some Iranian fans. We have Vietnam, who last Asian Cup made it to the quarterfinal for the first time, which got them into the World Cup. We also have Uzbekistan, who will host the Asian Cup in 2029, which is just 3 years after this, it's going to be a tight turnaround, lots of women's football in the next couple of years. We have the Philippines, which if you don't already have a second team, if you don't already have a second team in Asia, I would highly recommend getting behind the Philippines. They're coached by Mark Torcaso, who used to coach the Western United in the A-League. Lots of Australian players, lots of people that have played in our own backyard in the A-League, and I feel like they're just a great team to get behind. And finally, we have DPR Korea, 3-time Asian Cup champions. They are the second in Asia right now, and they haven't played in the Asian Cup since 2010. So they've got a lot that they've done, then had a bit of a dry spell, so it'll be interesting to see where they end up. So tonight is the major milestone, the first major milestone in our road to the Asian Cup next year. And we are going to look at the tournaments, the matchups. We are also going to get a look at the new branding, which I may or may not have had a little sneak peek of, and it looks very, very exciting. So we're very excited to see that. I will leave the full explanation of the draw mechanics to the people on the big screen, because I did try and wrap my head around it. And I feel like if I try and explain it to you all, you may end up a little bit more confused than you are right now. But basically, they are playing not only for the Asian Cup here, they will also be playing to qualify for the Women's World Cup in 2027. So this is going to be a very important tournament for everybody involved. Where are we at? So we've got 3 pots representing the groups A, B, and C. In each of these position pots, there are 3 balls with position numbers 2, 3, and 4 for each group, while the number 1 position in each group is reserved for the top-ranked team from pot 1. So that's basically what we're looking at. These groups and positions are listed at the bottom of your match schedules. This is where the fun part comes. You all have a pen, a piece of paper, and the future match schedule. All you got to do now is pay close attention, scribble in some names, see which games you want to look at, and pay close attention because there may be a quiz at the end for a prize that I don't know. If no one answers correctly, I might take it home for myself. That is how good it is. But we will get started in just a minute, and enjoy. Woo!
gentlemen, please put your hands together in welcoming a proud Wiradjuri woman, City of Sydney councillor and respected community leader to deliver the welcome to country, Yvonne Weldon AM.
Hello everyone. As was said, my name is Yvonne Weldon. I'm a Wiradjuri woman from Cowra here in New South Wales. From the waters of the Clare, which later became known as the Lachlan, and of the Murrumbidgee rivers. Unfortunately, there are many people who have met legal requirements to be regarded as traditional owners of these lands. And so, I am a representative of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, who are caretakers for the Culture Authority under the Aboriginal Land Rights Act. I would like to pay my respects to all elders, past and present, to all First Nations, to you, and the ancestors of the lands that you travel from or are from. Your own nation's boundaries are the Hawkes River in the north, the Nepean in the west, and the Georges River in the south. Across this country, there are hundreds of nations, tribes and clans connected to this continent for over 65,000 years. My people are the oldest continuously living culture of the world, and on behalf of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, the elders and the members, I welcome everyone to the lands of the Gadigal. I acknowledge Gadigal people whose spirits and ancestors will always remain with this land, our Mother Earth. No matter who you support or where you have joined us from, we all need to work together. All genders being included every day, not just during this tournament, creating societies and countries we can be proud of. All of us can bring about positive change now to make an inclusive collective future. To make that future possible, let us all draw upon my people's spirits as we continue on our journey. May my people's spirits walk with you and guide you as we strive forward for us all. Again, on behalf of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, Nyinyi, Nala, Wongan, Mari, Bajari, Gadi, Nurda, welcome to Gadigal land. Remember, it is because of her we can. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome our host for the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026 final draw, Tara Rushton.
Thank you very much for that beautiful and warm welcome to country, Yvonne. A very warm welcome everyone and to our distinguished guests joining us right here in Sydney tonight. How lucky are we to have you right here. The Honourable Steve Camper, New South Wales Minister for Sport and Minister for Jobs and Tourism. Deputy Lord Mayor of the City of Sydney, Councillor Zan Maxwell. Football Australia Chair, Anta Isaac. AFC Women's Football Committee Chairperson, Kanya Kiomani. Members of the AFC Women's Football Committee. AFC General Secretary, Datuk Siri Windsor John. Football Australia Interim CEO, Heather Garriott. Football Australia and Local Organising Committee Board Members. Chief Operating Officer of AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026 Local Organising Committee, Sarah Walsh. Participating member associations of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026 and our commercial partners and friends from media. Good evening, hello and welcome to wherever you may be watching us from around the world. Welcome to the draw of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026, this continent's most prestigious women's national team competition. I'm Tara Rushton and it is an absolute pleasure to be here this evening. After what has been a truly gripping journey that delivered upsets, epic penalty shootouts and incredible finishes, the stage is set for the top 12 teams in Asia to learn their path to ultimate glory. So let's get this evening going, shall we? Please join me in welcoming on stage some of the key visionary voices who have helped shape this tournament's success. Please put your hands together for AFC Women's Football Committee Chairperson, Kanya Kiomani.
the Honourable Steve Camper, New South Wales Minister for Sport and Minister for Job and Tourism, Deputy Lord Mayor of the City of Sydney, Councillor Sam Maxwell, Football Australia Chair Mr. Anta Isaac, members of the AFC Women's Football Committee, AFC General Secretary Datuk Seri Winter John, Football Australia Interim CEO Ms. Heather Garriott, Football Australia and Local Organising Committee Board Member, Chief Operating Officer of AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026 LLC, Ms. Sarah Walsh. Participating member associations of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026. Our commercial partners, friends and media, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening and a warm welcome to Sydney Town Hall for the final draw of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026. It is my pleasure and honor to be here in this historic venue of this beautiful city, which will host the final match of this prestigious tournament next March. In just 215 days, the continent's finest 12 national teams will compete across 3 cities in Australia for the ultimate prize in Asian women's football. It will be the second time after 2006 that Australia will serve as host, and it is remarkable how far we have come since then. Over the past 2 decades, women's football in Asia has undergone a profound transformation. From grassroots development to elite competitions, we have witnessed unprecedented growth. Notably, the previous editions of the AFC Women's Asian Cup saw an expansion to 12 teams for the first time. It's a testament to the growing depth of our teams while providing a platform for more talent to shine. Building on this momentum, the AFC remains firmly committed to elevating the women's game. The launch of the groundbreaking AFC Women's Champions League last year has already proven to be a game changer at the club level. And beginning in 2026, we will roll out comprehensive reforms to further strengthen our women's national team competitions across all age groups. These initiatives were designed to deliver more competitive matches and greater development opportunities for all member associations. And together with all of you, the AFC will continue to build a brighter future for the women's game. Come March 2026, the very best of Asia will showcase in the world-class venue across Sydney, Perth, and the Gold Coast. The action will be thrilling, heroines will emerge, and millions will be inspired as we raise the bar for the future generations. We have no doubt that the greatest ever editions of the AFC Women's Asian Cup will be delivered, and I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Football Australia and the local organising committee for their outstanding efforts and dedications in bringing this vision to life. We must also thank our 12 member associations as well as our broadcast, commercial and media partners. The stage is set for a truly historic chapter of the AFC Women's Asian Cup, and I wish all of our participating teams the very best of success for today's job. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those inspiring words and that inspiring address, Kanya. Now please join me to welcome AFC Women's Asian Cup Local Organising Committee Chief Operating Officer, Sarah Walsh, to share her insights into this tournament.
Good evening, everybody. It is my honour to join you here at the historic Sydney Town Hall for the final draw of the AFC Women's Asian Cup, taking place right here in Australia in 2026. Firstly, a big thank you to Yvonne Weldon for the beautiful welcome to country. It was a fantastic start to the evening. I'd also like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I pay my respects to elders past and present. and extend that respect to the traditional custodians of all the lands on which our tournament will take place next year. Tonight I'd also like to warmly welcome our special guests, Chairperson of the AFC Women's Football Committee, Kanya Kiomani, thanks for joining us, Mr. Dato Seri Windsor-John, General Secretary of the Asian Football Confederation, and the AFC General Secretary Shin Man-gil, Football Australia's Chairman Anta Isaac, New South Wales Minister for Sport and Jobs and Tourism, the Honourable Steve Camper, representing New South Wales Premier Chris Minns, and Football Australia's interim CEO, my former teammate, Heather Garriott. Members of the diplomatic corps of our participating nations, distinguished guests, members of the football family, including players and coaches here right at the opening of the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, your presence is deeply appreciated tonight. I'd also like to extend our gratitude to the Australian Federal Government, New South Wales Government, Queensland Government and the West Australian Government for their ongoing support in ensuring this tournament is a huge success. Tonight marks a key milestone on the journey of the Women's Asian Cup. We're finally here tonight. For the 12 qualified nations, this draw sets the path, revealing opponents, cities and ultimately the road to the final. It's a moment of anticipation, ambition and excitement. And for many players, the beginning of a dream with many countless hours that's built upon. This occasion is especially meaningful to me and to many of my Matildas alumni who are in the room tonight. I played in the first Women's Asian Cup many years ago in 2006 in Adelaide, and I was honoured to win the tournament in 2010 with many of my teammates. We also have Tom Samani and his wife Alison here tonight, who was the coach for both those editions and obviously the winner of 2010. Welcome, Tommy. To now be leading the 2006 edition as Chief Operating Officer of the LOC, it's an incredible honour and a true full circle moment for myself. The AFC Asian Cup is the longest standing women's international tournament in the world. Asia has long been a pioneer in the women's game. We didn't just join the global rise of women's football, we are leaders in building it. And in 2026, we will once again raise the bar on the global stage. This tournament will enhance future competitions, it will increase visibility, it will boost the commercial value of women's football across the region. Australia is proud to welcome Asia to our shores. As the most multicultural nation in the AFC, millions of Australians share heritage with the AFC countries. Among the 11 competing nations here tonight, beyond hosts of Australia, we have more than 3.4 million Australians that identify with the heritage of these nations. In our host cities, Perth, Gold Coast and Sydney, this connection runs particularly deep. This tournament is a unique opportunity to celebrate the rich cultural ties between Australia and Asia, to honour shared heritage, spotlight diverse communities, and unite through the power of women's football across the continent. Our goal is clear. It's to deliver the most attended AFC Women's Asian Cup in history. But our vision goes beyond the numbers. We aim to create unforgettable moments for young boys and girls and families, to inspire the next generation of leaders in Asia and leave a lasting legacy for years to come. So, as we conduct the draw tonight, we do more than assign teams to groups. We set in motion the stories, the rivalries and the aspirations that will define this tournament. For every player and fan watching, this is a moment to look ahead, to chase fearless ambitions and to dream without limits. On behalf of the LOC, I thank you for being part of this journey. We look forward to welcoming you all back to our shores in Australia in 2026. Enjoy tonight. Thank you.
Thank you to Sarah Walsh. We cannot wait for the magic to unfold right here in Australia come March. And now for a real treat. What you're about to see has been months in the making, created with passion, it's been created with purpose and pride, intertwining Australia's First Nations heritage, our connection to land, our connection to water, culture, and the history of our continent. So enjoy as we unveil the new brand of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026. Here to perform the dance, Blessing Country, please welcome the Janawi Dance Clan.
through streets, on rooftops, and over fields across Asia. But dreams don't become reality by chance. We put the work in behind closed doors. When it's not pretty and when there's no glory. We don't wait to be invited. We show up, fearless. We make noise and we play to win. This isn't fantasy. This is the fire we wake up with, the hunger we train with, the scars we wear with pride. They told us to dream small, smile, be patient, but we weren't made for patience. We were made for pressure, for power, for victory. We've waited long enough. Now we run, we rise, we roar. It's time to dream, fearless. Yes, we dream, but we will win.
Well, who will win is the big question. Out of the 12 nations, who will be crowned the Women's Champions of Asia? The new brand perfectly encompasses the spirit of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026. It defines courage, it defines unity and ambition of women's football across this continent. March cannot come soon enough for what promises to be a truly inspiring tournament, which will of course take place in some incredible venues. So let's now take a look at the vibrant host cities that will welcome the world in 2026. Cities, you can already hear the roar. Australia is certainly ready to deliver an unforgettable tournament. So now that we know the stage, it is time to understand the proceedings of this evening. Let's take a look at how the draw will unfold.
AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026 Draw Mechanism. Entries. 12 teams will participate in the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026 finals. They will be divided into 3 groups of 4 teams in groups A, B, and C. As the host association, Australia has automatically qualified for the competition. The following 3 member associations have automatically qualified for the competition by virtue of finishing as the top 3 teams of the previous competition. There are 8 member associations that qualify for the competition by finishing as group winners in the qualifiers. Seeding of teams. Australia shall be placed as the top-seeded team as hosts of the competition. As per the decision of the AFC Women's Football Committee on February 5th, 2022, the rest of the seeding will be determined by the latest FIFA Women's World Ranking available prior to the draw, which was issued on June 12, 2025. Mode of competition. The 12 teams shall be divided into 3 groups of 4 teams, and each group shall play a 1-round league where each team in the group shall play 1 match against each other. The first and second place participating teams in each group, as well as the 2 best third-place participating teams among all groups, shall qualify for the knockout stage, quarterfinals. The 4 winners of the quarterfinals shall qualify for the semifinals, while the winners of the semifinals will advance to the final. The top 6 ranked teams of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026 shall qualify directly for the FIFA Women's World Cup Brazil 2027. The 7th and 8th teams will receive an indirect slot for the FIFA Women's World Cup Brazil 2027. There will be 2 playoff matches organized among the losing teams of the quarterfinals of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026. The 2 winning teams of the playoff matches will directly qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup Brazil 2027. And the 2 losing teams will represent Asia in the intercontinental playoff matches to be organized by FIFA. Draw principles. The teams will be allocated into 4 pots based on the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026 seeding. The 3 pots representing the groups are labeled as pots A to C. In each position pot, there are 3 balls with the position numbers 2, 3, and 4 for each respective group, while the number 1 position in each group is reserved for the top-ranked teams from Pot 1. Draw mechanics. The draw will take place in the following sequence. The draw will start with Pot 4, from where a team is drawn and assigned to the first available group in alphabetical order. To determine the position of the drawn team, a ball is drawn from the position pot, Pot A, to determine the position within the group, A2, A3, or A4. The next ball drawn from the team pot is to be assigned to Group B and C respectively. The same procedure is repeated until every team from Pot 4 has been assigned to every other group in alphabetical order. Once Pot 4 has been emptied, the draw continues with Pots 3 and 2 following the same principle. Pot 1. Australia, as the host association, shall be drawn first and will be identified by a different colored ball to be placed in Group A, Position 1. The remaining balls drawn from Pot 1 will be placed into Position 1 in Groups B and C, respectively. This will conclude the draw for the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026.
So now that we're all familiar, it is time to welcome some really special guests who will help us out with the draw ceremony. So please put your hands together as I present to you our draw assistants. First up, it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage someone who is a household name here in Australia with 134 caps for the Matildas. Our first guest is an AFC Women's Asian Cup winner. She's appeared in 5 AFC Women's Asian Cups. Yes, you heard me, 5. Please welcome Australia's very own Tamika Yallop. Tamika, it is always so great to see you, and I did have to do a little Google dive. 5 AFC Women's Asian Cups, lucky number 6, here on home soil. I mean, how must that feel?
Yeah, I certainly have a lot of fond memories from the tournament, with the obvious favourite lifting the trophy in 2010. And now to bring the tournament to Australia, I think it adds that next level of excitement.
We can see the man that you did it with, Tom Samani, in the crowd tonight. But of course, as you look towards March next year, you have a new coach in Joe Montemuro, fresh faces coming through the squad. What's the expectation? I've got to ask you.
I think everyone's dream is to lift the trophy. But to get there, you've got to get out of group stage, and you've got to be ultimately ready for the first match, and I think that's what the focus will be after tonight.
Okay, but first we've got to focus on you being one of the draw conductors here. Thank you so much, Tamika. All right, it is time now to meet your next draw assistant. It was her spectacular brace that sealed qualification for India. So let's hear it for Sangeeta Bashful. Sangeeta, it was very difficult not to get emotional, even watching from the outside looking in, when the full-time whistle blew at Chiang Mai Stadium in Thailand. You were facing Thailand, you'd done it, India had qualified to the AFC Women's Asian Cup next year, you fell to your knees, and it was tears, it was just pure emotion. So the moment wasn't lost on you. How does it feel to know that you're going to be playing here in March, representing India at an AFC Women's Asian Cup? You must be so proud.
Thank you. It's been such a proud moment for all of us. Qualifying on merit feel amazing, and it's the result of a lot of hard work from every team member. We'll know we'll be up against a strong team, but we are focused, motivated, and really want to show how much grown as a team.
Well, you were wearing a scoring boots through qualifying, so we can't wait to see you in action. Thanks so much, Sangeeta. And finally, our third draw assistant, one of Career Republic's brightest young stars. Having represented her country at 2 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, she now stands ready to shine with the senior team. Please welcome Jeon Yu-kyung. Yu-kyung, I just have to point out, you obviously have some fans here in Sydney tonight, which is a great start for March. But Yu-kyung, looking at what you have achieved, you are a young gun coming through, and we cannot wait to see you compete at the Asian Cup, the AFC Women's Asian Cup here next year. How are you feeling? You must be so proud and excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and you're working hard, and I look forward to making our country proud.
Well, we cannot wait to see you in action, and you've got some fans here already. Thank you so much. Now that we have our stars here, we need our draw conductor. This is one very important job, to guide them through the proceedings. Please welcome our draw conductor for this evening, AFC Head of Competition Strategy, Jessie Dye. Jessie, what a qualifying tournament. And this is huge because the moment is finally here. How are you feeling ahead of now these 12 nations finally learning what it will look like?
I'm feeling really good, and the build-up has been really amazing. You know, the draws are always special. It symbolizes the journey begins, and for the teams, it is how they see the road ahead of them becomes real, and for the fans, it is when the countdown really kicks off and time to secure the match tickets.
The qualifiers, they delivered some huge surprises, some big upsets. Are we expecting some surprises here tonight? You're the boss, I'm going to hand it over to you shortly.
Well, I'm wondering the same, and this is part of the fun, isn't it, for the draw? Yeah, seriously, it's definitely possible. With the level of competition across Asia now, we have some strong teams who could land up in the same group. With that being said, every board drawn tonight will shape the story of the tournament, and we expect more exciting matchups to showcase the strength of Asian women's football.
And it's pretty strong, and it's only going to get stronger. Now, Jessie, there is something missing, though, from this incredible lineup that we have here on stage, and that is the AFC Women's Asian Cup trophy. So please join me in welcoming from defending AFC Women's Asian Cup champions China, Li Mengwen, to the stage to hand over the silverware, which of course the 12 nations will be playing for next year. Lee, your nation had an incredible run in 2022 at the AFC Women's Asian Cup. new champions. It was the first time that China PR had done that in 16 years, and an incredible moment for you. I'm sure you don't want to hand this gorgeous trophy back.
Yes, it brings back so many memories. Lifting this trophy with my teammates was one of the best moments in my career. Of course, it's a little emotional handing it back, but we are ready to fight for it again and do our best.
Well, I'm sure the fans cannot wait to see what China PR can do. Li Mingwen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, everything is set. The stage is finally set, the highly anticipated draw ceremony. So Jessie, over and out from me, it's over to you.
Sure. Thank you, Tara. I'll take it from here. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly delightful to be there, and it is my pleasure to be your draw conductor today. The road to the finals was a long one, I am sure you all agree. Now, after a long wait, we have our 12 teams who are eagerly waiting to know what lies in store for them. So let us get familiar with our team, starting with pot 4. Now we know our teams from pot 4, and without further ado, let us start today's draw proceeding. Sangeeta, could you please draw us the first team from pot 4?
Islamic Republic of Iran.
Islamic Republic of Iran started participating in the AFC Women's Asian Cup from 2010. After a few attempts, they qualified to the finals in 2022, played in the group stage, and this is the second consecutive time for Islamic Republic of Iran in the final stage. They will be in Group A, and to find out their position, Yu-Byung, please help us to draw a ball from pot A.
A3.
A3 for Islamic Republic of Iran. And we continue with pot 4. Sangeeta, please. Bangladesh, the one and only debutant among the 12 participating teams in this AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026. We have seen some amazing movement by the Bangladesh women's youth team in several AFC women's youth competitions, and now it's time to look forward to their performance in the senior team competition. Bangladesh for Group B, therefore we'll find out their position from the draw from pot B.
B3.
B3 for Bangladesh. Now, last team from pot 4, please. India had their moment in in the tournament history, the runner-up team in 1980 and 1983, and recently India hosted the tournament in 2022, and this time is actually the first time they qualify through the qualifiers, and it is really a hard-fought one. 2 amazing goals secured the win for India in the last deciding group match, and the goal scorer, Sangita Basra, is right here with us today. India for Group C, and we'll find out their position from a draw from Pot C. C3 for India. Coincidentally, we have position 3 for all these teams. And now we have completed teams in top 4, and let's have a look at our teams from top 3 to move on. Okay, very good teams in top 3, and Sangita, let us continue to please draw a ball from top 3. Philippines, an active team in the 1980s. Philippines actually also hosted this tournament, Women's Asian Cup, in 1999. After being away from the AFC Women's Asian Cup for a few editions, Philippines participated in 2018 and qualified to the final stage. Finally, they reached the 6th place of that tournament, and 4 years later, 2022, Philippines brought their best performance one step forward as the semi-finalists, and they secured one spot in the FIFA Women's World Cup for the very first time. The Philippines for Group A, therefore we move back to Part A to find out the position. Yu-Gyeong, please help us to draw. A4 for Philippines. Now we continue with top 3, please. Uzbekistan. First time participation in 1995, and for 5 editions until 2003, they were played in the group stage. Ever since we introduced the qualifying campaign for the AFC Women's Asian Cup in 2006, this is actually the first time Uzbekistan qualified through qualification. And it was not an easy one. Uzbekistan won through penalty kicks after a perfect tie with Nepal in the group standing. Not to forget, Uzbekistan will be our next host for the very same AFC Women's Asian Cup in 2029. And let's find out Uzbekistan's position in Group B. We move on to Part B for a draw. Please, Yu-Gyeong. B4 for Uzbekistan. And now, let's review the last team from top 3. Taipei. Chinese Taipei had some ups and downs in the history of the tournament. Definitely a pioneer and powerhouse in the early years. The first team to win the trophy for 3 times in a row in 1977, 1980, and 1981. Chinese Taipei came back to the tournament, qualified to the final stage in the last edition in 2022, and they finished as one of the quarterfinalists. Now they will resume their journey in AAC Women's Asian Cup next year. Now we will now find out the position for Chinese Taipei in Group C, therefore Part C, please. C4 for Chinese Taipei. I promise it's a draw. Well, we're halfway through, and let's keep going with Part 2, and we will have a look at the teams that we have. Amazing movement by these teams, and now we will do Part 2. Lita, are you ready? Let's go for the first team, please. Korean Republic. Debuted in 1991, and ever since they have never missed a competition or even a final stage. They've been in all the final stage. Third place team in 2003, runner-up in 2022. With the future stars with us, I'm sure the team is aiming to change the color of their medals to gold this time. Now for Korean Republic, let's come back to Part A. We have one position remaining in the competition. China PR with great achievement in the AFC Women's Asian Cup, holding a record of 9 times champion winning, the latest one being the last edition 2022. China PR was also the host of this tournament in 1997 and 2010. China PR goes to Group B, and we will review their position. B2. Defending champion People's Republic of China, B2. And the last team from Part 2 is Vietnam. This will be the 10th campaign for Vietnam in the AFC Women's Asian Cup. Vietnam hosted 2008 edition as well as 2014, where they finished as the 6th place team, and the last edition, 2022, Vietnam went through the quarterfinals as well as the Asian playoff to secure the first ticket to the FIFA Women's World Cup. Vietnam goes to Group C, and from Pot C, we will confirm Vietnam's position. Miguel, please. C2, of course, C2 for Vietnam. Now we have completed part 2 and the draw is getting much more exciting. We are coming to our top seeded teams, and before we proceed with the draw, let's have a look at the teams in top 1. Now we have the teams ready, and as we see, our position pods are empty, and we have position 1 reserved for these teams in pod 1. Our host country is already identified, and A1 is reserved for them. Tamika, could you please do us the honor to draw the yellow color board? Australia. Australia first participation in 2006. As well, they hosted that same tournament, and 4 years later from that, 2010, Australia clinched the first champion title. Tamika playing in that tournament as well. With Australia being drawn as A1, we can also proudly announce our opening match between Australia and the Philippines on the 1st of March in Perth Stadium. Now we have 2 teams left for Group B and C. Let's find out who's going to Group B, please. DPR Korea. DPR Korea. The last appearance in the AFC Women's Asian Cup finals was in 2010, where they finished as runner-up. Despite they have missed several editions, we can never forget the competitiveness of DPR Korea women's team. 3 times champion holder in 2001, 2003, as well as 2008. DPR Korea goes to B1. And we have our last team of the day. Tamika, please. Japan. Japan will be positioned in Group C1. Japan is currently the highest ranked Asian team in FIFA ranking as number 7. Japan also has a very long participating history in this tournament. The upcoming one will be the 18th edition for Japan's participation. And ever since 1986, Japan has always finished among the top 4 teams in the tournament. And eventually in 2014, Japan won their first title, and in 2018 comes back to back champion, eagerly waiting for another history as well, like other teams. So that concludes today's draw, and here we are. Our 12 teams have their pathway determined for what is set to be an unforgettable competition. Thank you, our lovely draw assistants, for joining me on the stage. And Tara, the floor is back to you.
Well, there we go. The path is clear. Thank you so much to Jessie Dye for your hard work there and our incredible draw assistants, the stars of next year's AFC Women's Asian Cup. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Well, let's get some reaction right now, because before we wrap, let's hear from a couple of head coaches. First up, head coach of the Australian Women's National Team, Joe Montenegro. Joe. Hi, Joe. How you going? Great to see you. What's the overriding feeling right now, Joe, knowing your path in March next year, and also knowing, looking at that group Korea Republic, they did break Australia's hearts in the quarterfinal in the 2022 AFC Women's Asian Cup. Not to remind you or anything, Joe.
There's no pressure. Well, first of all, congratulations to all teams for making it this far. And obviously, it's an amazing games, and it's set up for an amazing tournament. And also the organisers playing well tonight. It's set up a fantastic tournament. Yeah, there's some interesting games, and I know what you're going to say. The pressure's on, all that sort of stuff. And thanks to Tommy for winning it a few years ago. It's going to be a fabulous tournament. It's an amazing matchup.
No pressure at all, Joe, but you're having that home ground advantage. Does it ramp up the pressure, or does it ease the pressure a little bit being in the familiar surrounds of Australia?
The offense will come out and support us and make it a special occasion for every game. And the pressure's a privilege. It's great to be at this level, and we're really looking forward to it.
Thanks so much, Joe. We cannot wait to see you in action. And the build-up, of course, to March here next year. Now let's hear from Katrina Kulbici, the head coach of Uzbekistan, who had one of the most thrilling qualifying campaigns to get here. Katrina, so great to see you. Welcome to Sydney. I mean, watching what Uzbekistan did on the qualifying run, against the odds, overcoming it all, looking at your group, look, it's tough. But it feels as though you've got this team right where they need to be.
So good evening everyone. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. Uzbekistan didn't take part for 2 decades in this elite stage of Asia football, women's football. So it's a big honor and responsibility to be here, to be honest. We will take each game at a time with belief and courage. Of course, in this level there is no easy opponents. But we dream to be here, and as it was said in this commercial video for Women's Asian Cup in Australia 2026, we dream fearless for the next one.
Well, we cannot wait to see you in action here at the AFC Women's Asian Cup. Back here in Australia in 2026. Thank you so much, Katrina. Now that brings us to the conclusion of the AFC Asian Cup. So let's have a look at the draw results. I can see a lot of people in the room are on their phones, and social media is going crazy because we know as soon as this draw comes out, so taking a look at Group A, it is the hosts, Australia, Korea Republic, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Philippines, Group B is DPR Korea, China PR, Bangladesh and Uzbekistan, Group C, Japan, Vietnam, India and Chinese Taipei. And with that, the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026 Tour comes to an end. Do not forget to join us from wherever you are on the 1st of March 2026 for the opening match. We wish all countries the very best of luck. You can stay tuned to the AFC's digital channels and the AFC Live app for the latest news on the AFC Asian Cup. A very big thank you to everyone who joined us this evening, who came and travelled here down under to Sydney, wherever you are around the world. It is so good to see you. We'll see you very soon. Goodbye.
Guys, what a result. Is anyone in the room a stats person? Does anyone have the odds of that happening where each group went directly where it should have lined up? I feel like the odds of that are 1 in a million, but that is the beauty of football. We have an interesting draw ahead of us. I know there were a few sighs of pain at my table when Australia drew the same group as the Philippines, everyone's second team. Is there anything else that anyone was surprised about? Anyone got a fixture that they're particularly interested in? What about you guys over here? What are you most excited to see?
We were expecting Bangladesh game to be Group B, so we're having Bangladesh having 2 matches and in the stadium.
We're excited to see Bangladesh in this stadium. Oh, that's what we like to see. I will just quickly run through the fixtures that we've got in Sydney. First up, we have China v Bangladesh right here. Then we have DPR Korea v Uzbekistan also here. We have Uzbekistan v China. Then we have Bangladesh DPR Korea. Then we have the one and only Australian game in Sydney, which will be at Stadium Australia. Australia against Korea Republic, which is, I'm not looking too forward to that we did lose to them in the quarterfinal last time. But it will be a good game, thank you very much. But I will say we have beat them twice this year, so maybe it's in our favour. After that, we have DPR Korea against China. And then we have India playing Chinese Taipei, who have a few fans in the room tonight. Woo! Everybody loves Chinese Taipei. And how... sorry, I say Chinese Taipei. You also love India? How are we feeling about the branding? I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but if you turn around, the branding is now all across the stadium behind us, and it looks absolutely wow. I thought everyone else saw that earlier. This was a really fun reveal for me. Doesn't it look amazing? Please make sure before you leave, you get a nice photo with it, because it is absolutely stunning. We do also have this gorgeous match ball that I was told I had to give away. I was hoping that I could go this far and nobody would notice, and then I could just sneak out with it because it is absolutely gorgeous. How do we want to do this? Do we want to do a dance off?
Just give it to me.
A dance off? A dance off is fun. I like that. Who would like to get? Are we doing one person from each table? Oh, we're doing a dance off? Anyone that would like to compete in the dance off? I reckon this kid could have a good chance.
Me too. I can participate.
Dance off.
Okay, we've got a dance off. We're just getting some music.
Have a dance. Ball milegi.
We've got some music on the go. Would anybody else like to compete? We're getting a good mix. Who have we got? Are you competing? What's your name and who are you going for this tournament?
My name is Peter. I'm the Chinese Taipei.
We love Chinese Taipei. What's your name? Who are you going for this tournament? Richie and India! Woo! What's your name and who are you going for this tournament?
Devinder Taria.
And who are you going for this tournament?
Sorry?
Which team are you supporting this tournament? Which team?
India.
Perfect. What's your name and who are you going for?
Varun Tiwari, India and Australia.
India and Australia. What about you? What's your name?
My name is Ibrahim.
And we've got some fans over there. Which team are you going for?
Mine is Bangladesh and Australia.
What's your name and who are you going for?
Robin and I'm going for India.
India. We've got some Indian fans here. What about you?
My name is Ozzy. I'll go for Australia and Iran.
What about you?
be doing for Bangladesh and my baby will be doing for Australia.
What about you?
I'm Christine, I'm here for Australia.
And last but not least,
Bianca and I'll be going for Australia.
okie dokie, we've met our contestants. We are playing for the most beautiful ball I have ever seen. And you know what, you can just vote for nobody and then I'll take it, it'll be fine. Alright, do we have some music lined up? Alright. Contestants, are we ready? Grand Wall. I'm going to put it to the crowd.
Yeah, I think Christy, give it to Christy.
Christy?
Christy, she was amazing. She was
I'll take give it to the kid. Give it to the little child. His dad is dancing with him as
well. You are the future. I believe you go. You're welcome. Quick group photo for all of our lovely dancers.
Can I touch John?
You can touch the ball.
1, 2, 3,
I wish this was one of those moments where I could say that there was a ball for everyone and everyone got a prize. But sadly there was only one. So we better give it to the future of football in this country. Football in this country. Before everyone leaves, I will say you aren't going home empty-handed. Everybody is getting a little pin upon exit. So it's not quite the gorgeous ball, but we will get something. But before everyone leaves, if we could get everyone to head to the back of the room, we would love to get a group photo with our gorgeous Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026 branding.